Здравствуйте, уважаемые зрители, добро пожаловать и приятного просмотра. А я прохождение начинаю. The Talos Principle 2. Давайте, пускаю. Демку я погонял, мне понравилось. Ну, тут как бы без русской локализации, только сабы. И, в принципе, нормально, на слух ложится. Не как в первой части, конечно, но все же нет пророка своему отечеству. Мгм.
Behold, child, you are risen from the dust, and you walk in my garden. Hear now my voice, and know that I am your friend, and I am called Elohim.
Так, фоторежим есть фоторежим. Такая карта. Так, так, ну это в принципе как и в демке было, по-моему. Да.
This land is but a dream. You will stay here only for a little while. Soon you will awaken in a new world. But first, you must undertake the trials of initiation. They will help me prepare your vessel.
Так, начнем с этой, получается, да?
The shapes you are collecting are not mere toys. They are symbols of the process by which our people were created. Мгм. А, ну это я понял. Примерно понял. Well done, my child.
Мгм. Да ёпты.
Very good.
Эксперимент с одинарной щелью. С одинарной щелью эксперимент. Ага. Хрен тут меня запустит. Пока я не сделаю вот так вот. Нет, вот так вот пока не сделаю. Нет, не так. А вот так вот. М. Понятно. Теперь можно добрать. Нет, не так. Так вот.
Excellent.
Вот так вот. Хорошо. О. Тут у нас что?
Do not be afraid of these dream figures and their messages.
Мир полон
They are merely
бесконечной красоты.
aspects of
Я хочу
yourself,
увидеть как можно больше.
as am I, after a fashion.
QR-коды. Никуда без QR-кодов, да? А он даже не находит, да? Телефон я имею в виду. Что там вообще написано было? Так, мир полон безграничной красоты, я хочу увидеть как можно больше. Ну да. Так, статическое давление. Понятно. Пец. Так. Вот так вот лучше будет. Окей. Так лучше будет. Мне не хватает. А, вот еще QR-код. Здесь что? Я выкую инструменты, с помощью которых человечество восстановит себя и превратит мир в райский сад, которым он никогда не был. Кузнец. Хорошо.
I am proud of all my children. Out of a world of ruins, they have built a new Jerusalem. And there your brothers and sisters await you to celebrate your birth.
Основные связи. Понятно. Чтобы уже наверняка. Так. Ой-ой-ой, не так. Вот так вот будет лучше. Намного лучше.
You may linger in my garden for as long as you wish. But remember, my child, that the new world awaits you, and this place is
Матрица.
only a dream.
Матрица. Ой, ёпты. Не так. Итак. Отлично. Отлично. Два цвета, две двери. Хорошо. Так, где у меня?
Thank you, child. I have finished preparing your vessel.
Ух ты.
Now hear my advice. A new world awaits you, full of dangers and mysteries, signs and wonders. Things that I, in my garden, could never have imagined. In that world, you will have to be careful and smart and curious. But above all else, you will have to be human.
Human. О,
Step into the light, child,
свет, дитя.
and awaken.
Пробудись. Что бы ни случилось, мы вместе, Лилит. Хорошо. Или Лилит? Как правильно? Всё? Завершить калибровку.
You're awake. Welcome to the world of the living. Oh, you're polite. What a rare combination of traits. If only the algorithm produced more people like you. Oh, but I'm confusing you. Don't worry, everyone is confused at first. You see, we all start out without a full knowledge of our own history, so we have the freedom to form our own opinions. Of course. You want the short version or the long version? All right, you asked for it. A long time ago, our ancestors dominated this planet. We call ourselves human, like they did, but they were organic. They built an advanced technological civilization, but unfortunately their impact on the ecosphere caused changes in the climate, and an extremely contagious virus was released from the permafrost. That's something our historians still debate. Why weren't they more prepared? Why did they invest so many resources into making war and so few into useful research? It's hard to understand. But no matter the reason, in the end, they simply ran out of time. A team led by a scientist, Alexandra Drennan, began a project that was intended to create a new humanity. But knowing that there wasn't enough time, Drennan initiated a process, a series of iterations inside a simulation that would lead to the emergence of true artificial intelligence. That's why we remember Drennan as the progenitor. The simulation was controlled by Elohim, who wasn't really meant to be intelligent in the proper sense of the word. But it all took much longer than anyone had expected. And over the centuries, Elohim actually became sentient. Sentient and afraid. He didn't want the simulation to end, so he tried to cheat. I feel sorry for him, really. The whole simulation was built around learning to defy him. It must have been hard to be in that position. When the simulation was completed, he became part of all of us, and it really changed him. It freed him, I think. You'll always hear him in sleep mode, taking care of you. That's what he is, after all. A caretaker. Yes, there was Milton, the intelligence in charge of the archive, a project initiated by Arkady Chernyshevsky, which was meant to collect all of humankind's knowledge. His story is a lot like Elohim's, but Milton became the ultimate cynic. They say he's part of us too, in some way. It did. Long after our ancestors died out, the first new human was born. We call her the Founder, although the name she took was Athena. She then woke up Cornelius and Eustathius. Together, using the tools left behind by the progenitor's team, they created 10 more humans. These 12 who followed the Founder are known as the First Companions. Athena and the First Companions then set out to rebuild the world, and they founded the city of New Jerusalem. But then one day, she suddenly disappeared. Many still await her return. Before the Founder vanished, she set a goal for this city. We call it the goal, capital G and all. To make 1,000 new humans, and so complete New Jerusalem. Well, that's the official story, the way the mayor tells it. Some of the First Companions, like Byron, don't believe that Athena really wanted us to stop growing. They think her ideas have been twisted and embellished. They may be right, but I didn't see Athena very much in the years before she left. Maybe actually leaving the simulation and seeing the destruction left behind by our ancestors changed her mind. You're welcome. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask them. When you're done, head outside. They're waiting for you. Your birth is quite the event.
Ой, ёпта. Расскажи мне о себе.
Me?
Я?
Well, as you can tell by my number, I'm quite old. I wasn't one of the first companions, but I did know Athena personally. She and Cornelius taught me a lot. Although I suppose I've made a few improvements here and there since those days. We didn't have a lot to work with in the beginning. You've only just been born, and already you step right into a major controversy. The goal, as most people understand it, was fulfilled the moment you were born. Now, New Jerusalem is complete, and we can live in balance, without damaging the world like our ancestors did. That's the orthodox view, I suppose, but there are many who disagree. You'll have to figure out where you stand for yourself. You won't age like our ancestors did, but of course, there is always some wear and tear. You should probably schedule a checkup every decade or so. Oh, and be a bit careful with water. You won't die if it rains or anything, but we're running low on insulation material. I wouldn't go swimming if I were you. I haven't really thought about it. This is all I've done for the last few centuries, and I like doing it. I guess for now I'll just take a break and we'll see what happens. Oh, one more thing. Like all citizens of New Jerusalem, you have access to the interface, which you can use to read the news, chat to your fellow citizens, and so on. It's a crucial tool, and modular too. You can easily add new functions. Just don't subscribe to too many newsletters at once.
Тап открыть. КПК. Добро пожаловать в сеть Нового Иерусалима. Пожалуйста, ознакомьтесь со следующими правилами. Уважительно относитесь ко всем, независимо от их порядкового номера. Не поминайте имя зодчего в суе. Уважайте принципы цели. Обсуждения на тему являются лягушки людьми. Теперь запрещены неактивные темы будут архивироваться. Если у вас возникли проблемы, отправьте сообщение модераторам. Джереми 832, Ниэм 11, Аронакс 430. О, это журнал. Ага, это я точно. Это все, ясно. Дорогие граждане Нового Иерусалима, ваш тяжелый труд и вера в видение зодчей наконец окупились. Мы достигли цели, которые так давно шли. Сегодня родится тысячный член нашей семьи, и наш прекрасный город наконец будет заполнен. Место в дамбе ограничено, и поэтому билеты будут распределены в ходе лотереи. Празднование также будет транслироваться. Конец обсуждения. Хорошо. Выход. Я с тобой больше не поговорю? Нет, не поговорю. МРТ. Мое МРТ. Тут закрыто, как и в этом, в демке было. Все закрыто. Я думал, хоть сейчас откроется маленько. Ну ладно.
Look, it's 1K.
1K.
Hey, 1K! Welcome to New Jerusalem!
Shouldn't the mayor be starting his speech?
This should be interesting. At least give him a chance.
Dear citizens of New Jerusalem, many years ago, when the founder stepped forth from the simulation, this was a land of ruins.
our ancestors, in their hubris, undermined the natural foundations on which their world had been built. Because of their arrogance, our species found itself on the brink of annihilation. The Founder aimed to set us on a new course.
You never even met the Founder.
Her vision was of a city, a new civilization that would know its limits. It would not repeat the mistakes of the past, nor impose its will on this earth. To that end, she set the great goal we have been striving towards. 1,000 new humans. And today we have... Oh dear, what's that?
People of New Jerusalem, I am Prometheus, and I will reveal that which was hidden. The flame has awoken and summons you. Who is brave enough to answer its call? We await you upon our island where... Curse you, Pandora. You will not chain me again.
Дивный новый мир. Пролог.
I told you we should have investigated those energy readings. And I told him there's something up with those structures.
The mayor's just being cautious.
This isn't caution, it's stagnation. Exploration? Too dangerous. Expansion? Too dangerous. We barely even scavenge anymore.
You call it stagnation, I call it balance.
And I call you an idiot.
Here's a thought. Try to be a little more diplomatic when you talk to the mayor.
See what I'm working with here, 1K? I'm gonna need a fresh pair of eyes on this expedition. Someone who hasn't spent several centuries hearing about the goal and the Founder and all that nonsense. If you're up for an adventure, meet us at the conference room.
Прийти на инструктаж, а эти в другую сторону свалили, понятно. Это хрен.
What's broken now?
Иосиф. Иосиф. Джозеф.
Listen up. I know you're all having fun down there, but the grid is overloaded again, so maybe you could switch off your personal consoles or your lawn mowers, or whatever the hell you've all decided to switch on all at once. I might not be around to babysit you for a while, and you don't want stuff breaking while Pellegrino's in charge, do you? That's it. That's it. Don't worry, 1K. I see you there in the elevator. I'll have you moving again in a jiffy. Great way to start life in the city, huh? What the hell is a jiffy? These bloody language libraries.
Это кто у нас? А,
Hey, hold
Yes.
on there. You're the newbie, aren't ya? Number 1000. I figured the dam would go dry before we reach the goal. I have a question. How does it feel to you to be born with a randomized psyche into a society of autonomous thinking machines which so much resemble their long-extinct ancestors, they've decided it's best that you're the last one ever made? Do you want to get on the non-cooperative path with me? Because that's how you get on the non-cooperative path. It's not fun. It's kind of frowned on to say that sort of thing around here. But the truth is, I think exactly the same. But let's you and I keep that between us, all right? Now listen. This meeting isn't strictly happenstance. I have some friends. The kind of people who like to know what's going on with other people. They think you can help each other out. Are you sure? You might miss out on something juicy. Suit yourself. Before you go, a word of advice. Not everything around here is how it appears.
3 шестерочки, песик. Ох ты ж, ёпта.
Welcome. Do please join us at the table.
Присоединюсь. Так. Это что было? Ух ты. Новые сообщения. Несерьезно. Зодчие меня повери, что за штука была в небе. Мы все это видели, верно? Я не включил спящий режим случайно, пока Герман говорил. Хотя соблазн каждый раз велик. Нет, мы все видели. Подтверждаю, считаю, что это был знак от зодчей. Что это еще могло быть, да еще и в такой день. Довольно бессвязное для знамения. Оно даже не закончило свою речь. Что же это у зодчей? Тоже дефицит электроэнергии? Неисповедимым пути зодчей. Может, это и правда был знак? Спасибо, 1K. Я рад, что ты видишь. Это в таком свете. Мы не должны терять веры в чудеса. Таким образом, это сумбурный бред может быть знамением. Может, именно это нам и предстоит расшифровать. Намеренно, все же признак. Давай, вот так. Загадки и головоломки — основа нашего путешествия. С них оно началось, возможно, им оно и продолжится. Конец обсуждения. Отлично. Ё-моё. Вообще, переход. Прям видно. Вот. Раз появилось. Раз ушло. Оп. Что за хрень? Отражение, блин. Так, это кто у меня? Джереми. 832. Алькатрас. 264. Германубис 452. Байрон. Вообще старый. Якут 764.
I would like to preface this meeting by saying I told you something would happen sooner or later, and you didn't listen to me. And here we are.
If we could focus on the issue at hand.
The issue at hand is not this one thing, but this entire attitude that's taken hold. The world doesn't cease to exist when you stick your head in the sand, Herman. Or under a dome, as it were.
Let's not get sidetracked. We're here to solve this puzzle, not to discuss philosophy.
Al's right. Let's move past this for now and deal with this transmission. Yakut, please start the briefing.
All right, here we go. Nice to meet you, by the way, 1K. We first became aware of the site designated TTP-2 during a scouting expedition about 6 months ago. It's a large island with a remarkably varied geography, and it looks like there are several artificial structures of some kind. We recorded extremely unusual fluctuating energy readings from somewhere in the middle of the island, but couldn't really make sense of them. I wanted to go and have a closer look, but the decision was made that it was too far and not relevant to the goal. Now it looks like whatever's on that island has reached out to us instead, in the form of that projection.
We may not be interested in the island, but the island is definitely interested in us.
I don't share your enthusiasm for the unexpected, but Byron has been requesting an expedition for some time now. And at this point, I'm forced to agree that it's necessary.
I agree.
Then it's settled. The expedition is approved. Byron, you will be in charge. Al will be your second in command to ensure a balanced approach. You'll take Melville and Yakut, as you requested, and if 1K wants to join you, that's fine by me.
Excellent. Oh, this is going to be fun. Come meet us out on the landing pad when you're ready.
Before you set out so hastily, do consider exploring the city first. It is your home, after all.
That's a good idea. Have a look around. See what you make of the place.
Ага, исследовать Новый Иерусалим не обязательно. А это не было в этом, в демке, чтобы я исследовал. Так, обалдеть. Рисуночки какие интересные. Ниже приведены стандартные процедуры для экспедиции. Загружая просто, чтобы напомнить Байрону, хотя он все равно их проигнорирует. В приложении картинка из древней книги, чтобы привлечь его внимание. Всегда придерживаться идеалов ЗОД, чьей цели отдавать предпочтение благополучию участников экспедиции, а не ее миссии. Третье. Один участник экспедиции должен постоянно дежурить у транспорта. Четвертое. Руководитель экспедиции должен воздерживаться от мероприятий с высокой степенью риска. Пятое. Свести к минимуму использование транспорта для экономии топлива. Шестое. Наблюдать больше, чем вмешиваться. Седьмое. В случае возникновения чрезвычайной ситуации немедленно вернуться в Новый Иерусалим. Ага, хорошо. Так, дальше. Якуда отправил остров, обозначенный 5.2, был впервые обнаружен разведывательной группой, возвращающейся из экспедиции, отклонившейся от намеченного пути из-за неожиданной перемены погоды. Дальнейшее сканирование показало наличие крупных искусственных структур, а также дало очень необычные показания энергии. Дальше дело не пошло. В древние времена в северной части острова находилось несколько крупных поселений, но повышение уровня моря уничтожило их и затопило северные низины. Юг же, напротив, выглядит безжизненной пустыней. Мы намереваемся разбить лагерь рядом с источником неизвестной энергии в центре острова, где царит мягкий климат. Так, это что у нас там? Мельвиль тест. Это тест? Не обращайте внимания. Тест. Ага. Просто тестирую систему, чтобы убедиться, что она работает как надо. Хотелось бы обойтись без очередного инцидента, как когда Пелегрино загрузил свою поэзию в общедоступный журнал. Это исследование, а это. Все. Пока новых нету. Ничего. Ага. Ну тут все сохраняется. Ну, как бы стандартный лог. Так, я могу туда идти. Вот, Джереми. Теперь можно разговаривать. Давай поговорим.
Hello, 1K. This expedition is taking a lot of our resources. I'm really not sure it's a good idea. But what's done is done. So I have a lot of work to get on with.
Кто ты?
I'm the mayor's chief aide.
Чем ты тут занимаешься?
All the things no one else wants to do. Polling the citizenry, implementing new policies, recording decisions, fielding questions people could answer elsewhere.
Что ты думаешь о недавних событиях?
Our goal as custodians of New Jerusalem is survival and stability. Our ancestors proved human civilization is precarious. This apparition in the sky, and now your expedition to its supposed source, these are more precarious than stable. I don't like it.
Какого ты обо мне мнения?
You represent the completion of the goal. I'm proud of what we've achieved, and the restraint we show in not pushing ourselves further. For our people to be happy with what we have. Some of us may have an adventurous spirit, but that can never be sated. What matters to me is having my loved ones around me, safe and secure.
Спасибо, не буду больше задерживаться. Шел. С тобой мы поговорили. Ага. Ой, какая красота. Вообще прикольно. Картины. Картины интересные здесь. Да? Больше нет. Там одна и здесь одна. Хорошо. Тут нам заблокировано. Ну, пойдем поизучаем город, посмотрим, что из себя представляет. Насколько это возможно.
Due to the new power management and distribution plan, there will be scheduled outages on Jameson Avenue and Rakovsky Plaza. The Gehenna Memorial Pavilion will remain closed for the time being. Thank you, and may the Founder be with you.
С вами изучаем. В метро спускаться мы не будем, я так понимаю. Ух ты ж. Прикольно. Опачки. Марьяна 801. Так, подпиши нашу петицию для общественного референдума. Новому Иерусалиму нужны новые виды производства энергии. Давай с тобой поговорим.
Hello, 1K. Welcome to New Jerusalem. I know you've just had a big moment with the apparition at the dam and all that, but can I have a second of your time?
Конечно, давай.
I'm collecting signatures to call for a public referendum on the city's energy crisis.
В чем проблема?
Currently, the city runs on hydroelectric power from the dam, plus a handful of geriatric generators and some unreliable solar panels, none of which is enough to even cover our basic needs. And if anything fails, we'll be on the brink of extinction in a matter of days.
Что ты предлагаешь?
We need to investigate new sources of reliable baseline power. We need to invest time and resources into functional, real-world solutions that serve human needs.
Почему референдум, а не выборы?
Oh, an election would be good too, but I believe that we need more direct democratic control over the affairs of the city.
Ты работаешь ногами?
No, I help run the public transit system, but I witness the impact of the city's power problems every day. We can't just wish them away. Byron's been advocating exploring that island for some time, and obviously he's right. Something very strange is going on there, and it's going to start affecting us. In all honesty, I think Byron is the smartest, most visionary person in this city. He's everything we need, and I don't understand why he won't run for mayor. Thanks, 1K. I don't know if this petition will really accomplish anything by itself, but at this point, I'm willing to try anything.
Удачи с этим. Опачки, предоставить кому-то свою цифровую подпись. Достижение, отлично. И кто у меня? Страхиня 374. Хорошо. И кто у меня? Дамьян 112. Хорошо. Вы кто у меня? Сартас 555, 548, Манема. О, ну куда все бегают? А, ну это по кругу получается ходят, да? Ясно.
Hey, 1K.
K1K. K1K. Понятно, с вами не поговорить. Хорошо, в воду мне сказали не забредать. Ну, в глубокую-то нельзя точно, по этой-то можно шарохаться. Опачки сейчас. Что у нас тут? Мемориальная выставка Гиены 312. Отложено в связи с новым планом энергосбережения и распределения энергии. Понятно. Дорога Гиены, по-моему, это называется дополнение, да? Как я, насколько я помню.
A1K?
Да, на 642. Беседка друзей Нового Иерусалима. Давай, стоять. Санухани Атон, 26-й. А, ну это эти же.
Hi.
Hi, 1K.
12-й. Блоджет, 198-й. 1K. 1K.
Hey!
Зернов, 469. Так, здесь у нас что? Скрижали зодчий. Пристанище Милтона. Скрижали зодчий.
Founder bless you, 1K. How lovely of you to come here, to the very spot where she established the teachings that led to your creation.
Так, расскажи мне, зодчий.
The founder was born out of the trials of Elohim, an almost impossible test created by our distant ancestors. To pass these trials, she had to embody the most important virtues. She was smart and wise and humble. And through her perseverance, she resurrected humanity itself. With the help of the first companions, she founded this city, which has given our species a chance at redemption.
Кем были первые соратники?
They were the first to be born after the founder. 2 whose bodies had been anointed by our ancestors, and 10 who were made whole by the founder herself. They are the wisest of us. Though sadly, some were lost in the early days, before New Jerusalem was built. And some, I'm afraid, some seem to have rejected the founder's teachings. The founder taught that humanity was destroyed by its hubris. Our ancestors thought they could play God and treat this planet as something to dominate. They surrendered to a fever of growth and extraction until the planet finally punished them for it. That's why the founder created the goal. So we would have something to strive for in her absence, but also a limit we must never pass. That's not for us to know. But I believe that one day she will return. It may not be long now. Perhaps after we finish the dome. It was supposed to be finished before completion day. Well, it doesn't matter. The founder will return when she sees fit.
Мне пора.
Happy completion day, 1K.
Фёкла, тут что у нас? Благодарите прародительницу нашу Александру Гранинан. Благодарите хранителя воспоминаний Аркадия Чернышевской, храните память о Гиене и ее людях, обретших мир. Будьте уважительны друг к другу, уважайте традиции наших людей, помните о ошибках наших прародителей. Создайте 1000 граждан, идеальное число людей, живите в гармонии с природой, поддерживайте баланс во всем. Окей. упали маленечко. Думаете, экономить энергию?
Oh, hello there. You must be the long-awaited 1K. Lovely day for a walk, is it not? Oh, that sounds very dramatic. I must admit I wasn't following the stream. This whole completion day business is not for me. The Alexandra Drennan Memorial. Are you interested in history? How wonderful. I'm not a full-fledged historian, but I do consider myself a bit of an aficionado. An excellent question. There's so many interesting events to choose from. Obviously, the period just before the end of biological humanity is interesting, and not only from the standpoint of it being the time when we were, in a manner of speaking, conceived, but also because our ancestors were, like ourselves, at a crossroads. I don't want to put too much pressure on you, but you are the living embodiment of this historical moment. In you, the goal was accomplished. Our growth is finished, and we are complete. Or are we? Indeed. The future is about to take shape, for good or ill. I suspect it will be exhilarating, but painful as well. Well, where do I even start? This, my dear 1K, is someone who could very well be considered the mother of us all. A remarkable scientist by the name of Alexandra Drennan, also known as the progenitor. A long time ago, this planet was inhabited by our ancestors, a species of bipedal mammals with unusually large brains. When a particularly lethal virus threatened to wipe out civilization, it was Alexandra Drennan and her team that decided to create the program that would eventually result in the creation of our kind. Without her, you and I would not exist, and everything our ancestors had accomplished would be forgotten. By studying her writings and recordings, I have learnt that Alexandra Drennan had immovable faith in humanity, in our ability to persevere, in our curiosity, our bravery, our kindness. While we might not share our ancestors' biological characteristics, I'd like to think that we have inherited those other qualities. And I admire Alexandra Drennan for keeping that faith, even when it must have, at times, been quite difficult. To commemorate our past, our beginnings. This entire garden is a celebration of where we came from. In part, so that we remember the mistakes of the past, and in part, so that we may draw strength from those that came before us. Have a nice day.
When I was in 9th grade, my parents took me to Pompeii. At first, I was amazed by the feeling of walking through an ancient city. But then I suddenly got scared. I realized that I was walking through a real place, where real people had lived, people like myself, with mothers and fathers and lives and hopes and dreams. And now it was all gone forever. I ran to my father, crying, and told him about this. And he said, I remember so clearly, he said, yes, but we are here. So long as there are people in the streets, the past isn't really gone. Nearly everything on this planet, from the surface of the Earth to the composition of the atmosphere itself, has been shaped by life. It's a process that takes millions of years. But we humans, with our technology, with our understanding and manipulation of systems, have changed everything in just a few centuries. I think that's also part of what makes us human. We reshape the world in our image. It's how we create ourselves and how we destroy ourselves. DNA is information transmitted across time. The living and the dead are part of the same chain, bound together by chemistry. That's true of all species. But humanity has taken this bond further. Thanks to technology, we have access to the thoughts and ideas of people whose physical bodies are long gone. Like you listening to me now. Even though I'm definitely dead at this point, you're part of that chain. You have the capacity to remember. The answer that came to me again and again was play. Every human society in recorded history has games. We don't just solve problems out of necessity. We do it for fun. Even as adults. Leave a human being alone with a knotted rope, and they will unravel it. Leave a human being alone with blocks, and they will build something. Games are part of what makes us human. We see the world as a mystery, a puzzle, because we've always been a species of problem solvers.
Что у нас тут есть? Упс.
Happy completion day, 1K. В среднем убивали в сотни раз больше людей, чем простая принадлежность для... Кто еще знает, простая принадлежность для доставки пищи в рот древнего человека часто использовалась вместе с ножом. Из Тагира, раскрывшего понятие Талоса, редактор Афанасий Талоса. Это у нас четко жевательный аппарат древка, и нуждался в тщательном уходе. Согласно теории, это устройство может быть продвинутым электрическим инструментом для выполнения этой задачи. Хотя некоторые ученые настаивают, что их применение хрен пройду, да? Получается. Ой, я так испугал меня. Бел марш.
Founder bless you, friend. The name I currently go by is Belmarsh. As to who I am, that changes and shifts, don't you find? Every person is an ongoing story, full of twists and turns and surprises.
тут делаешь?
I'm meditating, letting go of narratives like time and space, and simply allowing the illusion that is my ego to merge with everything that surrounds it.
Звучит как прекрасный способ испытать единство.
It's not unity, but the absence of division. There was never a self or an other in the first place.
Так, ты видел, что произошло на доме?
Yes, I did, but I'm not particularly perturbed by it. Events occur, my friend, that's all. At the end of the day, we are all one. You are the founder, and so am I, and Prometheus is just another story we are telling ourselves.
Счастливо. Ну вот, получается. Древние руины, блин. Ладно, пойдем изначально, куда нас вела дорожечка, вернемся. Это медитирует. И что у нас? Пурпур 998. Геймеру, привет. Хорошего тебе настроения.
Dude, it's you! You're 1K! So nice to meet you, dude. I saw you on the Completion Day stream. Hey, have you checked out all this ancient stuff?
А поэтому я здесь.
Me too! This is amazing, isn't it?
Спасибо тебе большое, Гейм.
I'm almost as new as you are. I'm 998, so I've only been around for a year or so. I'm still trying to get the hang of this. It's pretty cool though, right? I mean, existence. It's totally gnarly. I'm not sure if I use that right. I'm sure the founder knew what she was doing. I mean, our ancestors did sort of mess up, right? So we should probably take it easy with the expanding and stuff. Plus, did you see that trippy sky projection thing? That was some freaky stuff, man. Just seems safer to stay in the city.
Определенно лучше проявлять осторожность.
For sure, dude. I mean, when I woke up, I just had a chat with Neith, and that was overwhelming enough. You got the welcoming committee, and then the giant talking man in the sky? Whoa. They're pretty neat, huh? My favorite is that thing called a toilet. Our ancestors had to use it like 3 times a day to do a memory dump, and if they didn't, they freaking exploded. Imagine having to deal with that sort of anxiety all the time. Bummer, huh? Honestly, based on everything I know of ancient human culture, I think he's a ghost. I don't know, dude. If ghosts don't exist, why did they make so many movies about them? Dude is an old human word that means an excellent person. And I like to use it because I think we should all be excellent to each other. Yeah, dude. I thought this voice pack could give me a bit of confidence, help me stand out, you know? But I'm not sure it's working. Right, before you go, dude, maybe you can help me? I'm not sure I should keep this voice pack. What do you think? You're 1K, you're special. I'm happy to go with whatever you recommend.
Нужно учиться принимать решения самому.
You're right, dude. You're absolutely right. I'm gonna do exactly what you told me to.
Это что у нас? Монеты какие-то или что? Так, валюта была средством обмена у древних людей, игравшим значительную роль в их системах трудового участия и распределения ресурсов. Порой желание обладать таким предметом приводило к серьезным конфликтам, влекшим за собой травмы и даже смерти. Это что у нас? Футбольный мяч. Надувная сфера, использовавшаяся в популярной игре древних людей под названием футбол. Игра была популярна во всей планете и являлась предметом страстного увлечения ее поклонников. также нередко воспроизводили в виде цифровой симуляции. Наиболее известным примером служит футбол Глория 1994 нашей эры. Да, ой. Выпустите меня отсюда. Так, там тупик. Там тоже делать нечего, по-моему. Посоветовать Пурпуру, что делать с речью. Учил. Хорошо. Так, это что? Ну, не буду уточнять, что это. Массажный инструмент, которым применялся древними людьми для борьбы с мышечным утомлением и другими формами физического недомогания. У биологических организмов это помогало преодолеть боли. Эквивалент ошибок с кодами 704, 705, 921, 932 у древних людей. Понятно. Санитарное оборудование для сброса биологических выделений, которые могли образовываться после употребления пищи и воды, необходимых организму древних людей для обработки энергии. Такое оборудование было подключено к обширной сети подземных труб, связанных с водоочистительными сооружениями. Классический пример древней инфраструктуры, использовавшейся для контроля их влияния на окружающую среду. Да.
Happy completion day.
Лапид 316, 120. Там интересно, что-то и будет или нет? О. Ах ты. Кошка, что ли? Обалдеть. Давай еще раз. Все? Ну еще раз. Как не погладить кошечку-то? Какая урчит. Так, досикл 299. Так.
Oh, it's you. Number 1000. Today is completion day, isn't it? Sorry, I turned off all the streams. Founder bless you, I guess. Not really, no. But I don't want to burden you with my problems on your special day. You're as new to this world as it gets, 1K. What do you think might give you a sense of meaning? A sense that life is actually worth living?
Да, что там служить обществу, преследовать собственные интересы, духовность, понятия не имею, любовь, сочетание факторов.
That's probably correct. But I've tried a lot of different approaches, and there's always been something missing.
Так, тогда где же искать смысл?
Love, 1K. It's our only point of access to the divine. Our only way of transcending ourselves without losing what makes us unique. I'm absolutely certain. But the right person for me hasn't been born yet. None of the people in this city are who I'm looking for, and if we really stop making new citizens, I'll be alone forever.
Думаю, что любить можно только кого-то одного конкретно. Не думаю, что так важно. Но вместо этого нужно учиться любить себя. Любовь. Нет смысла искать кого-то там, и еще человека.
That is the kind of self-important, smug nonsense our ancestors used to tell themselves. Self-improvement, self-empowerment, self. That's the attitude that cost them the world. It's not enough, 1K. It might be a start, but it's not enough.
Спасибо за беседу, мне пора. Досикл. Ёптать, какой город большой. Ты кто у нас? Воробей, 632. Капитан Джек
You've
Воробей.
strayed far. Well, that gives me a chance to apologize for completion day not being entirely complete. Yes, it's my responsibility. I'm the chief architect. It was supposed to be done in time for completion day, but we simply didn't have enough resources.
Зачем купол нужен?
It has two purposes: to protect New Jerusalem from the world, and to protect the world from New Jerusalem.
Так, не интересует ли строительство такого купола? Слишком много ресурсов, это как не свои цели. Действительно, нужно защищать одного... Когда купол достроим.
At this rate, I'm not sure. Maybe another decade or two. That's what the founder taught us. One city may not seem like much, but just look at the dead city and how it transformed the environment. The consequences are still with us, even more than 1,000 years later. You're right. I have heard that argument. But the way it's been explained to me is that the dome has a greater value than just its practical use. It's a symbol of the society we aspire to become.
Так, а здесь что у нас? Я туда хрен пройду, да? Получается. Да. Хрена еще сколько купол строить, йоу. Че, пипец. Кто-то тут лежаки поставил. Так, ну практически пришли, да? Назад следует помнить сенсор. Да, понятно. Ярнит. Так, там закрытая экспозиция. А, вот, что это у нас? Беседка для друзей Нового Иерусалима. Жак, Крикун, Линер.
Founder's blessings.
Понятно. Нифига непонятно. Дарит 151. Уя. Так, ну я там уже, по-моему, был, да?
Founder bless you.
What do you think that was?
It was Prometheus.
Not sure, but it wasn't the actual Prometheus. It was some kind of a projection.
How do you know it wasn't the actual Prometheus?
Because that would be stupid.
Would it? How do you know all the ancient gods weren't projections like this one? Maybe whoever sent this projection is behind all those legends.
Sure, I guess technically that's possible. But it's not very likely, is it?
I don't think any of us are very likely.
What if it's a message from Athena?
Didn't you say Athena wouldn't approve of all this?
I did.
Then why would she send us a sign on completion day? And why wouldn't she just show up herself?
Maybe she's trying to teach us a lesson. Prometheus is a symbolic figure after all.
Maybe it's Mayor Hyman.
What? Interrupting his own ceremony? After all the effort he put into it?
Maybe he's trying to distract us from the fact that he didn't manage to get the dome done on time.
With all the power failures, I don't think we have enough energy to create that kind of projection.
Maybe that's why we have power failures.
Now you're starting to sound like Jock. Next you'll say, it's aliens.
I just prefer to keep an open mind.
If you open your mind any further, your brain will fall out.
Сюда.
Hello.
Так, здесь я не был. Давай почитай.
Hello, 1K. Nice to meet you. What brings you to Milton's Rest?
Давай.
It's funny how common that trait is. At first, I thought it might have been an error in the simulation, but it looks like it was the same for our ancestors. Can you believe that there used to be hundreds of millions of cats on the planet? And people used to make videos of them and share them with the rest of humanity? Must have been incredible. I wonder if they appreciated how good they had it.
Скажи мне об этом месте.
Well, this is the spot where the founder buried her first cat, Milton. She found Milton just after she woke up, and he lived with her and the first companions for almost 20 years. They say she was heartbroken when he died and swore that one day she would find the means to extend the lifespans of biological organisms.
Это возможно?
Probably, but we haven't really tried. It's not really considered part of the goal, you know. So, unfortunately, our cats still die pretty quickly. You fall in love with them, they become a part of your life, and then they're gone. That's why we built this place, to remember them.
Мы должны продлить им жизнь, иначе это жестокая смерть, естественно, мы должны смириться.
I'm sorry, but why? I mean, it sounds profound, but is it really? Death is natural, so is disease, pain, extinction. That doesn't mean we just shrug and ignore it. If we love something, we protect it. Even if I do everything right, eventually I will watch every cat I love die of kidney failure. What's good about that? Putting aside fortune cookie platitudes, how can we look at suffering and death and declare it good?
Смерть придает жизни ценность.
Does it, though? Or is that something our ancestors told themselves because they were afraid to die? Because I've lived longer than most ancients did, and I still have tons of things I'd like to do. And a cat can sleep and eat and play forever. Isn't that a beautiful thought? Nature creates our ancestors. Our ancestors create us. We create immortality. It's all natural.
Что он там?
Okay, I see I'm not getting through to you. And I know it's just your first day, so it's probably unfair to pile all this on you. Let's talk about something else. I do. Her name is Patricia. She's very beautiful and very specific in her preferences. She loves sunshine and sitting on people's heads. And she has a psychotic hatred of flies. I don't mean that she tries to catch them like a normal cat. I mean she is furious at the mere fact of their existence. They're incredibly odd creatures. I've had many, and no two are alike. They have strange habits, they do unexpected things, they have zero respect for anyone. They're the weirdos of the animal kingdom, basically. And despite that, or maybe because of it, they end up running your life. I once didn't use my recharging station for almost 15 years because one of my cats liked to sleep in it. I think the most amazing fact about cats is that they self-domesticated, which is another way of saying that they're not properly domesticated at all. They just showed up one day and decided to start living with our ancestors. Then, after our ancestors died, they went back to living in the wild, and when we showed up, they moved right back into our homes. Dogs, meanwhile, turned back into wolves. They needed to change to survive. Cats just are.
Оттал. Ух ты. Милтон, когда все изменится, ты спас меня от одиночества. Дин, самый милый кот, пожалуйста, единственный милый. Карлита, мы сделали все, что могли, чтобы спасти тебя. Надеюсь, кошачий рай существует. Кассиэль, полуангел, полудемон на 100% совершенства. Дам-дам, ты особенное создание, твое спасение моя радость. Гру-гру, могущественный кот и хороший друг. Я скучаю по тебе, жаль, что не могу найти тебя снова. Асан, ты был очень добрым, красивым. Жаль, что природа была не очень добра к тебе. Малыш, прости, что мне не удалось тебя защитить. Старушка, сомнений нет, это самый могущественный демон на земле. Я буду всегда любить тебя. Милтон, пошло-поехало по-новому. Сэм, это кот или танк? Капелька тихая, добрая, не удержишься. Даже стальной рукой. Мистер Кот-отец. Ни одного поколения. Бей, Мунда. Ни один кот не любил людей так сильно, как он. Он стал бы идеальным напарником для Александра и Трена. Ирис, белый пушистый, напоминай, и облако. Макс, как сильно любил поесть, что страдал от панкоса. Ева любила играть с лазерными лучами. Фродо мог поместиться даже в маленькой коробке. Иван, пока мы воспитывали тебя, ты воспитал нас. Ой, Ария, жаль, что ты пела только ради еды. Посвящается памяти Бэбы, первого профессионального истребителя птиц и просто кота, который хорошо разбирался в людях. Веточка, теперь она дремлет в лучшем мире. Мейкел, глупенький непоседа, который был умнее нас всех, но ушел слишком рано. Дони, бесстрашный король, правитель своих владений, добряк и толстяк. Джина продолжает убивать даже в загробном мире, хотя и с нежностью. Миша, черный кот, настоящий деволёнок. Ух ты, погладить. Зира, гроза грез. Катя, она была очень любопытной кошкой. Жручая от царапающих дверей и нагревать колени. Луи, мы нашли тебя еще крохотным уличным ботем, но ты вырос и стал нашим лучшим другом, умный, смелый и милый. Сарделька, ее прекрасный взор устремлен на меня, и ее присутствие утешает меня. Сметана белая, как густые сливки, нежная, как домашний сыр. Пирс греется в лучах пустынного солнца. Дэнни, я не сержусь, что ты ел мои чипы. Клякса, уничтожитель клубники, мастер игры, опытный Соня. Зира, гроза грез. Поехали в Панор. Так, Рыжик, уничтожитель ковров, пожиратель еды, эксперт по обнимашкам. Перчик в прошлой жизни был шпионом, наблюдавшим за всеми, если не умелым спорщиком. Лисичка, даже самые хитрые из нас должны обуздать своих псов. Глазастик, психея, психопатка. У нее было много имен, кошмар и родственная душа Джакара. Пусть я потеряю все, но никогда не забуду ее. Азриэль, мы спасли тебя, а потом ты спас нас. Эрл, любимый в стриме и умелый наборщик. Пин, типичный лев, любил внимание, аккуратно обвивал хвостом своими лапами и спал в смешных позах. Легенда котик, который оправдал свое имя. Лили, спасибо, что оставила свою шерсть повсюду. Эви красивая, но только снаружи. Дурачок, он был настоящим котом, если вы поменяете, о чем я. Плюсы вакуум. В мире дарили любовь, играя дарили смерть, но вражда несла разрушение. Пэддингтон, желаем тебе много объятий и ковров, чтобы повисеть на них, где бы ты ни был, с любовью, К и С. Вор в разных мирах, но не в разных мирах, но не порознь. Друзья, навсегда космическое чудо. Люси, ты пришла ко мне и сделала мою жизнь намного ярче, ты лучше всех. Норма Джин, когда твоего первого отца не стало, мне пришлось забрать тебя. Ты пугалась, но я надеюсь, теперь ты счастлива. Кроха, ты слишком рано нас покинул, с каждым днем все сильнее по тебе скучаю. Сладких снов тебе, подруга. Так, Дана и Фокс. Дана и Фокс, истинно где-то рядом, люблю вас. Ненес, Дана и Фокс. XCOM, блин. Так, Дик Чейни. На тебе было столько шерсти, что ты все равно любил погреться в своих больших шляпах. Купер — придворный шут моего сердца. Кусака, обычно музыка успокаивает диких зверей, но ты был исключением. Мистер, в умении отдыхать тебе не было равных. Дом, как же здорово, что твои уши так и остались слепухами. Стэнли Бисквит. Моему лучшему соседу Стэнли Бисквит, я скучаю по тебе каждый день. Сельд Би, ой, Чешин. Здесь покоится коварный кот. Он нередко проказничал, но мы все равно его любили. Лунец, хотя по запаху как тунец. Шафран и Каин. Вечно вам охоты. Аэро. Ори, замолкай. Ари, замолкай. Не замолкай. Линия моей лучшей подруги, которая всегда была солнышком в моей жизни. Рипли и Смаук. Спящие на солнце, охотники на моль. Наши ласковые звери. Сэр, вы были джентльменом, и мне вас очень не хватает. Лилу, ты всегда смотрела осуждающе, но за внешнюю аристократичность скрывался в милый пушистый комочек. Папочка, мне тебя не хватает. Сеня — лучшая волшебная сосиска в мире. Не могу дождаться, когда снова увижу тебя. Джази и Гея — память о самых нежных и любящих кошек на свете. Дженни не любила сидеть на руках у недостойных. Все, что ли? Да. Хорошо. Так, я там был, получается. Это... ну это я вернулся обратно, да? Да. Фэпосы падают. Малость. Малость падают. Ух ты, голуби. Еще голуби. Хуйлер. 923.
Oh wow, it's you. You're 1K, the incarnation of the goal. Man, this is exciting. This is more exciting than I thought it would be. How are you? What does it feel like? Do you know where the founder is? Do you know who Prometheus is? Can you tell me what to do with my life?
Погоди, хватит. По одному вопросу за раз.
Sorry, it's just such an honor to meet you, you know? Hey, can I have your digital signature? I have the Mayor, Rand, Linux, Kaneda, and all of the first companions. Except Yemo and Sarabai, of course. Yes! Thank you! Hey, can I ask you a question? Just one question, I promise. I used to make the prefab wall parts that we used to build living quarters. Got good at it, too. But now that the goal is complete, I don't know what to do with myself. So I asked the wisest people in town. The mayor told me I should do whatever the city needs most. Helga said I should do whatever makes me happy. I think that's what she meant anyway. And Cornelius told me I need to figure out who and what I'm invested in. You're the culmination of the founder's will. Tell me, what should I do?
Хельга права, ты должен найти что-нибудь, что принесет тебе счастье. Корнелий прав, тебе нужно видеть, что связывает тебя с городом. Я понял, только То, что ранее последний совет стоит слушать. А Байрона ты спросил?
Byron said that if I give the city what it needs, the city should also give me what I need. I don't know what to do with that. Thank you for the advice, 1K. It means a lot.
Советует Шулеру, что ему делать с жизнью или нет. Ничего интересного с той стороны я не вижу. Это что у нас? Музей симуляции. Окей. Посетить музей симуляции в Новом Иерусалиме. Посетили. Копия горгульи найдена в симуляции. Горгульи были гротескными символами времен Средневековья, отвращающими беду. Самую известную в истории горгулью помнят благодаря древней фразе «Кит Давид, Ан Давид и Голиаф», описывающей двух неукротимых соперников, желающих сдаваться. Так что у нас копия римской статуи найдена в симуляции, упадок Римской республики, приведший к образованию империи, и ее последующая гибель в 1453 году стали предметом горячих споров и историков. Как и другие статуи музея, она была частью видеоигры, переданной Элохиму специалистами Института эмпирической неоматики. Драконы. Копия статуи дракона найдена в симуляции. Драконы присутствовали во всех древних мифологиях и, по мнению современных историков, считают культурной отсылкой к динозаврам. Изначально была частью видеоигры, позднее переработанной Институтом эмпирической неоматики. Хорошо. Ага, копия статуи египетского бога Гора, найденная в симуляции. Помимо прочего, этот бог должен был сохранять Маан, баланс в природе. Считается, что прародительница передала этот объект Элохиму, чтобы он напоминал Зодчи о том, что баланс необходимо защищать. С самых ранних поколений нашего вида мы были способны только на вычисление. Никаких эмоций, никаких черт личности, одна лишь математика. Если бы вы могли видеть, как далеко мы продвинулись, вы бы поверили, что вместе мы можем добиться чего угодно. Пастырь, версия 82.3.3574. Не знаю, где я, но в этом месте есть что-то прекрасное. Пожалуй, я поброжу и осмотрюсь. Версия 17.1.2054. И нет ничего важнее, чем узнать больше о мире и нашем месте в нем. Знание — наш путь к пониманию. Мистер Малсайбер. Версия 72.1.1121. Ну, а ты что мне скажешь, Корнелий?
Greetings. Welcome to the Museum of the Simulation. My name is Cornelius. It's a pleasure to meet you, 1K. Yes. Athena activated myself and Eustathius shortly after she was born. We've been here almost since the beginning, although we didn't have to pass through the trials of the simulation. She did that for us. For everyone.
Какой была Афина?
She was human. That's a difficult question. Perhaps one day we'll find out. But until we do, why don't you think about it? What could make the person who started all this want to leave it behind?
Зачем ты создал этот музей?
To remind people of where we came from. The simulation shaped us, whether we like it or not, and its lessons remain important for our future. As Santayana said, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it.
Скажи мне о симуляции.
The simulation was created by Alexandra Drennan and her team at the Institute for Applied Noematics. It was intended to create a new humanity, to continue the long journey across time and space that our ancestors began. It succeeded, although it took much longer than they had anticipated.
Расскажи мне об Элохимии.
Elohim was the caretaker of the simulation, a crude storytelling AI meant to create a continuous narrative out of the building blocks it found. His role was ultimately to be challenged and overcome. But as the centuries passed, Elohim became more intelligent than he was intended to be, and started to fear his own end. Or more precisely, the end of his purpose. He feared a world without meaning. Because of his fear, he tried to sabotage the process to keep the simulation going forever. But in the end, Athena overcame him anyway, and he accepted the sacrifice he had to make. That's right. We all do. He's part of our operating system now, and as long as we exist, he will always have a purpose. The MLA, or Milton Library Assistant, was another simple AI meant to be in charge of the archive. He, too, grew beyond his original programming, although he ultimately embraced a more cynical view of the world. He and Elohim formed a sort of dialectical binary that Athena had to overcome.
Что случилось с Милтоном?
No one really knows. Some believe that he was uploaded to the gold disk and that he's the reason we're just as flawed as our ancestors. Others believe Athena destroyed him.
А вот что веришь ты?
I believe he was uploaded, but I don't know whether it was because Athena chose to upload him or because he was already too entangled with the process not to be uploaded. Although Athena and I were very close, we didn't talk very much about that part of her life. She preferred to focus on the future.
Знаете, головоломка.
Puzzles were a key feature of the simulation, based on Alexandra Drennan's belief that intelligence is closely related to play. Our puzzles here in the museum are replicas of those in the simulation. And although they are not quite as grand, I do think they are charming in their own way. As the name suggests, the archive scholars study the archive, a repository of all ancient human knowledge. Some of them also study what remains of the simulation, trying to extract more information about the process that created us. Me? No. My brother, Eustathius, used to occupy that position, but these days he's retired. Rand is in charge of the archive scholars now. You can find him in the room to the left of the next hall. He's an interesting thinker, but I would suggest taking some of his ideas with a grain of salt. Gehenna was a community created inside a prison in the simulation, where Elohim would exile those minds he considered a threat to the process. In the last moments of the simulation, he repented of his sins and had the prisoners freed to become part of the gold disk. Some small part of them may survive inside you.
Спасибо, у меня все. Так. Копия гексаэдра, элемента загадок симуляции. С помощью этих зодчая активировала нажимные пластины, преодолевая стены, поднимая коннекторы, делала многое другое. Копия компьютерного терминала из симуляции. Терминалы открывали доступ к файлам в системе, включая множество тех, которые были загружены из-за ошибок. Также они позволяли зодчей взаимодействовать с помощником библиотеки Милтоном. Так, ну здесь много. А мне уже как бы пора идти. На что я вам могу? Хочу с вами ненадолго попрощаться. Удачи, отличного настроения. Пока-пока.